Hi there, it's the fourth Sunday of Epiphany and I'm going to share my sermon for the day. The readings are from the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, 18 to 31. This is an ancient letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to the Christians in the Greek port of Corinth. And the Gospel reading is from Matthew chapter 5, verse 1 to 12. Now, the usual thing that's said is that it's good to be strong, it's good to be rich, it's good to win, it's good to be powerful, it's good to be happy. And the world honours the ones who are strong, the ones who are rich, the ones who win, the ones who are powerful, the ones who are fortunate. It's not unusual to conclude that God must be on the side of those ones who are honoured. But in today's readings, we hear something that goes against that thinking. In the world that the ancient church began in, honour and shame were really important. And it's not really that different now. If you were rich, you were honoured. If you had defeated your enemies, you were honoured. If you were an adult man, and especially if you were the head of a household, you were honoured. People would show you respect and give you privileges. But many people were not honoured and had to live in shame. There was only a little bit of honour to go around and there was a lot of shame to go around. Many people had been defeated and humiliated. Many people were poor or enslaved and had to live in shame. Women and children were not honoured. They were considered to be a source of weakness and shame. And a man who seemed feminine or a man who seemed like a child would be considered shameful. And the fact that Jesus was captured by his enemies and humiliated and publicly executed would have been a great source of shame. It would mean that anybody associated with him, whether by being his family or being one of his followers or being part of the church, they would also be affected by his shame. Anyone honourable would be unlikely to want to have anything to do with following this man who had been beaten and assaulted and executed in front of a crowd. But for those of us who have been beaten and humiliated and terrorized and pushed down, it means Jesus has entered into our experience of shame. God, the creator of the cosmos, has joined us in our experience of shame. It has no power over us now because the most powerful one has joined us in that experience. And Jesus is saying something like this in his sermon too, when we hear the gospel. People have always thought that the strong and the powerful and the rich and the lucky are blessed, but here Jesus is saying that God is with us in experiences of shame. That God is with us when our spirit is broken and it's hard to keep going. When we're experiencing that brokenness, the new society that God is creating is within our reach. He's saying that God is with us when our heart is broken. God joins us and comforts us. And God is with us when we don't grasp for power. And when we don't grasp for power, we find that there is actually enough for everybody to share and live a good life. God is with us when others feel challenged by us and find us difficult to have around or find the things that we say difficult. And when others decide that they're going to try and frighten us from the path that we're on. This is what happened to Jesus. And we will share in the new heavenly society that he's building as we follow his way. God is with us as we walk the way that Jesus taught us through all the joys and all the difficulties.